Hello. Today we're gonna do the pen test. I'm trying to start setting up my Hobonichi techos for next year. And so what I really wanted to figure out though was what pen I was gonna use and how it would react to the new paper. I don't know if people have seen it, but there's been a lot of debate over the paper so far, or I guess not a debate, but just a discussion, because it seems really different from what they used for 2024 and obviously from the original that they used to use. So I really wanted to do a pen test today. I'm gonna try it out on my Weeks, my A6 and my A5, and I'm gonna see what works and what doesn't. These are the pens that I plan on using for the most part. The ones I mainly use right now are my Uniball Signo, it's in a .38, my Uniball 1, which is also in a .38, and I do sometimes use the regular Hobonichi pen. I'm hoping there's gonna be no problem with it with this new paper. But some other pens that I've used are, a variety. I have the Pilot Kakuno. This one is in an extra fine. And I have the another Pilot Kakuno, but this one is in a, oh wait, no, this one's in a fine. This one's in an extra fine. This one has the original Pilot ink that the pen comes with. I don't know what ink it is. It's regular, I'm assuming Pilot black ink. Whereas this one has the Atramentis, I think it's document black ink. I might have said it in a previous video. Yeah, it's a document ink. I put it in my extra fine. I also have a Kaweco AL in Iguana Blue. This one is an extra fine, I think. Yeah, it's in an extra fine, and it has Kaweco Pearl Black ink in it. And these are other things that I usually use in my notebooks. Before I started using regular pens, I was using in my Weeks a Stadler. God, there's so much fur everywhere. I have a Stadler Triplus fine liner in black, and also Stabilo in, I don't know, it's just a gray color. I don't know what specific color this was. And then I also have a mild liner in cool gray. I thought I'd also test out a Micron in 0.5. This is in like some brown red color. And then I also have, of course, my Zig clean color dot. These are very important to me because this is what I use to, I guess, index in a way in my Hobonichi Weeks and my media journal, which is what I plan to do next year as well. I use these to differentiate between like video games and books and TV shows and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that they don't bleed through horribly, because I can't find stickers that are small enough to go into these like into these sections, whereas these, with these markers, I can just I'll make the dots on my own. But yeah, I really hope they don't bleed. I don't think I've seen them bleed in anyone's post, but I want to test it out on my own anyway, because apparently there seems to be a lot of inconsistency between the pages. Some pages, like on one side of the page, it'll be fine, but then on the other side it won't be. So it's really hard to gauge what book doesn't work, what book doesn't work, because there seems to be trouble in all of them. If it's pretty minor stuff, I don't mind. I don't think I'm going to compare it to my 2024 books because there's just no point. This is what I'll be stuck with for next year, so there's really no point in doing comparison. I just want to see how they actually look in person. I want to see if they feather a lot. My Pilot Kukuno in extra fine is thinner than the Koweko, so I'm hoping it's still going to keep that thinness. Same thing for my Uniball Signos. I think these are gel pens. I think it says. I'm pretty sure it is though, because this one's a gel pen and I think they use like the same ink. I have a refill here. Oh, well, this one's UMR, and this one's UM151. I don't know. I think they're gel pens. And gel pens have not been the best on Hobonichi paper. Except this one dries really well in my 2024 ASIC, so I'm hoping it'll still work great in my new A6 and also my A5. But this one takes forever to dry, and but I really like how it looks in my book, so if this one like takes too long to dry, I might just try to go with my Kukuno instead. Although I'm not really that used to writing with fountain pens. I'm still somewhat new to it, but I do want to be better at it, so that's why I still want to test it out in this book. And also, before I get too far ahead, I also want to test out these stamps. I already know that in the 2024 books, at least, these two stamps bleed. This one I know for sure bleeds. They're all Tsukineko, right? Tsukineko, yeah. They're all Tsukineko, but just different types. So this one, I don't know. I think it's an oil-based, maybe. I don't remember, but I know for sure this one bleeds in my books from 2024. This one I think also does. It's a pigment ink. It's a lot stronger, but this one doesn't. This one is the VersaMagic chalk ink. It dries down really nicely. I don't think I have an example of it yet. Like, I have these, and these are just the VersaFine pigment ink, and they're really dark. And this is on the Hobonichi paper, like from the little books that they have, and they look pretty good. Like, you know, they're really nice and dark, but I'm not sure on this paper if there's any bleeding. I think if I were to press too hard, there'd be bleeding. Like here, it kind of wants to. I don't know if you can see it very well, but yeah, I know. I don't think I'm gonna try these two in the book. I might. I don't know. I feel like if there's bleeding on other pens, I probably won't try it. Just because I don't know how many pages it'll bleed through, and I don't want to like have it bleed too much. I was doing like a test for how I want my key to look in my weeks, and this is the chalk ink, so I don't know if you can tell the difference as to how it looks, but it does feel different. It feels very like a little bit rough in a way, so that would be like the main differences. Whereas this one, which is the VersaFine Claire, is very smooth. It might be the paper too, but I don't think so, because this one has like a texture to it, even in my regular Hobonichi book. So I still want to try them. I'll probably just use these little symbols as a test. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous, if I'm being honest. I'm kind of nervous about testing this stuff out. But yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna do it first on the weeks. So, I wrote down all the pens that I just said, and this is the stamp. It's been like a little bit, but I'm just gonna blow on it a little so I can make sure it's really dry when I flip it over. But as you can see, I wrote down what they were, and yeah, let's see how it looks on the other side. It bled through. Yeah, I did, hopefully this is, I'm pretty sure this is in frame, but I did have to do this multiple times, but you can see that it's like not as, it might be the marker itself, but it's really like, it looks kind of faded on the clean color dot. But I did not put anything underneath the page because I wanted to see how the bleed through would be. And yeah, it bled through. The clean color dot bled through. Damn. That kind of sucks. that really does suck. Because even if I've put dots like multiple times on my 2024 book, it did not bleed. But yeah, I guess I got a bad batch maybe. Because I've seen everyone say it's different. It's not that bad. I guess I do have to remind myself to, well, what I usually do is I put something underneath, but it will, that means it is going to go through. What was it? This is the Stabilo. The Stabilo was kind of already going to bleed through as well. But none of, and I can see a little bit of the dot on my pilot. Like right there. And I think that one's the one with the regular pilot ink, so not the Diatramentus, which is good. But still not ideal. Because I do want to get more inks. I'm really interested in getting blue inks, and I have a few that I've seen on like jet pens or something that I kind of want to try, but this is why I left the rest of the page like blank too, because I just wanted to see how it would look, or like to have more testing space. But yeah, seems like the stamp didn't really, oh no, I think it did want to bleed through a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to see if that's like a dot for it, but I don't think it is. So the only thing that bled through was the one thing I didn't want it to bleed through, which was my clean color dot. Oh, that sucks. Well, I might have to figure out a different way to index, or I might still use it if I'm not like too upset by it. I don't know, because this isn't bad for doing it like 3 times. This bleed isn't that bad, because I did press on. I don't always put a lot of pressure. The more pressure you put on these pens, the bigger the dot. So just to show you. Let me, I have so much stuff on my desk, sorry. Let me just move this out of the way. So for the clean color dots, you do obviously a small dot, but the more pressure you put, you get a big dot. So I don't put a lot of pressure when I use these in my books, because I do not want it to, I don't want it to bleed or have a really big dot when it's such a small space on the week. So yeah, wow. I can see if some of this is dry too. I'm just gonna use the back of this to see if anything like picks up. And even I'll go over also the stamp. Okay, let's see. So everything's pretty dry, I guess, because nothing got on a little bit of the stamp got on the bottom part of this page, but nothing picked up. So if I like, because the one I'm really worried about the dry time is my Uniball Signo. Well, it seems like it's pretty dry. It's not going on my finger either. Okay, that's good. That's a plus. So I can still use my Uniball Signo and my Uniball 1. It'll be fine. The Hobonichi pen, you know, is fine as well. The Kaweco's fine too, which is good. My Kaweco Pearl Black ink that I use. And on the Pilot Kakuno Fine, I use the Diatramentus ink, which I'm really happy about, works too. So Even the Stadler and the Stabilo didn't really bleed through. Wow, that's really interesting. The Stabilo wanted to. I can tell that it was getting darker and darker and I was about to bleed. But yeah, that sucks about my clean color dot then. I'll need to think of either a different way to index or to just buy stickers. Which, if anyone has recommendations on stickers, that would be very greatly appreciated. What I could do on these, because look, it's so small. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 squares long. So it's such a tiny amount of space to write in general. But I really like using this as a media journal, so I don't want to give that up. I guess I can try to do, you know what? I'm going to try to do a dot with the fine side. The only reason I don't do a dot with the fine side is because it's going to be pretty uneven. Obviously because I'm drawing it on my own, but it's also a lot more control. So like usually when I do it with the broader side, I can't really tell how big the dot's going to be until I take my pen away, because sometimes I have put too much pressure and it'll get too big. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a dot with this and see how the bleed is. So let's see. I guess that's how I would usually do a dot. I'll do it with the darker. The reason I chose also these two colors specifically is, one, I already use them in my other Hobonichi. I use them for, this one I use for books and this one I use for video games, and this one gets used heavily because I play a lot of video games. But I also picked them because of the color difference. So this is a lighter based marker, and then clearly this one's darker. This one's in Ocean and this one is in Blue Bonnet. So I really wanted to see the difference too in the color of the marker. Because obviously I do, with the colors that I've chosen in 2024, I do use some are dark, some are light. Like here, this is my key. I use red for, well, this is what it looks like if I don't put on this much pressure. This is if I put like a good amount or like go over it too. But I use like a red, an orange, a purple, a blue, a lime green, and then this darker ocean color. So I'm really hoping, I can't, like I have like 12 of these because I bought a 12 pack. So these are the colors I like the most, and most of them are, they're a good in between dark and light. So I'm really hoping that it'll be not that bad. But let's see. Should be dry. Okay. No bleed through. Yeah, no. So I guess maybe my best bet would to be to make my own little dots. You can see I did them right here compared to the ones where I used the broader side. I have them here, and I think if I were to put more pressure, it wanted to bleed through. Yeah, because you can see, I don't know how well you can see it. I don't know if it'll focus, but yeah, I think it'll bleed through if I put on too much pressure. Dang. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for next year. At least my outliner didn't bleed. I was really hoping that wouldn't bleed, because I think for some people it did, but it might depend on the color they use too. But yeah, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah. And I did write this on Midori, like the Midori pads that they have. So I know it's different type of paper technically, but I still wanted to see how it would write different. My Uniball one is really broad, but that's fine. I don't mind if the Uniball one is broad in my A6 and in my A5 that I'm going to be using next year. That's totally fine with me, because I don't know. I just feel like I write even small, because I already write a little small, but I feel like I write even smaller on my weeks. I think it's just because I'm trying to fit so much in this. So yeah, there's not a lot of space, so the Signo looks fine to me. It does seem a little more juicier maybe, but like I said, this isn't like a fair comparison because it is two different types of paper, I think. But everything else for the most part seems fine. The Pilot Kakuno Extra Fine does seem broader on the Hobonichi paper than it does in the Midori. I don't think I have it. Oh my god, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I might compare it to my 2024. Nothing good can come from me comparing it to a book that I'm no longer gonna use in the new year. But I'm just curious. Or I think I didn't. No, I didn't do a pen test in this. It's okay. It's okay. So, yeah. This was the pen test in the weeks. Pretty okay for the most part, but like I said, some people have said that they'll use it on one side of the page and it'll be fine, but let's say if I use it on the back, it might look weird. I don't feel like testing that out because apparently it is page to page. So even if this page seems fine on both sides, another page might not look as good. So I guess that's just a gamble I'm gonna have to take when it comes to me picking out the pen I'm gonna use in this. But for the most part, I am leaning towards the Extra Fine. I like how tiny that is. The Hobonichi pen, I do like how thin that is, but obviously it's completely different black to all of these other ones, and I love how dark these are. I used to use the Hobonichi pen, but when I realized how much darker these other pens were, I'm like, oh no, I like how dark these other ones are, so I will not be using that in this book. I mainly use that pen in my weekly for work and to track certain things. But it should be fine with the Hobonichi pen. I'm not gonna test it out on that booklet, but with this, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards the Extra Fine. And maybe still my Uniball Signo. I can flip through both. Yeah. But that was the weeks. Next, I am gonna test out on my my A6. I think I'm gonna try my A6 next. Okay, this is what I have so far. Sorry for the lighting change. It got dark really fast. But yeah, so I did everything again, just like on my weeks. And everything seems to look good. The Uniball one might look a little weird because I think like some ink or something was stuck on it. But yeah, let's see how this is. I am blowing it on it a little, just paranoid. Okay, let's see what bled through. Okay, so nothing bled through on this page, nor on the back of what I wrote. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, like it doesn't look as bad as the weeks. Little comparison. I did not swatch the Zig Clean Color Dot just because I don't really plan on using those in these books, but yeah, look how like even the Stabilo did not bleed. So it really is not consistent on like per book. Because clearly the weeks was worse and this one was fine. I'm gonna press on it and see if it rubs on that page. I think the stamp might, which is fine. Yeah, the stamp did. It was not dry yet. Oh, something did the Pilot Kakuno fine? Yeah, I guess that one was not fully dry. But my Signo was great. That's good. My Uniball one obviously dries so fast. My Extra Fine is great, and also my Kaweko. Yeah, so the only thing that rubbed off on the other side was the stamp. And I guess the original Pilot ink that these pens come with, not good, I guess. They're not that great. I've never tried the I forgot what they're called, but they're also by Pilot. They're like the I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it because I have no idea what it's called, but it's on like those fancy bottles that have like a little well at the bottom. I really want to try those because they look really nice, and also they seem to be pretty popular, so I'm assuming they're good. But yeah, I guess so. I think that one's different from the ink that they give you in these, so that one is not the best. But so far, Coeco Pearl Black, De Atramentis, Document Black, doing real good. Even the Stabilo and the Stadler and the Micron. Wow. But we'll see. We'll see how it actually is when I start using these books in January, because then it might not be as good. Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm glad that this book is good. The book that I don't plan on really decorating that much, yeah, I'm glad that the basic black ink worked out, as opposed to the other book that I do plan on decorating more of my weeks. Yeah, but so far, not horrible. Also did not smudge my Uniball Signo because it usually takes forever to dry on my 2024 weeks. But yeah, it looks good. Everything looks good. So yeah, I'm excited to use this book. I have my Yumi Kiraishi cover on it finally. I unboxed everything. I don't know if anyone else that is watching this has seen my 2025 unboxing. But yeah, I have always like saved certain items in the unboxing until the new year comes, because I like to open it as like a gift. And so I finally opened this one, and I'm so happy. It's so cute. I really like it. I didn't know it was blue. The cover is like it looks black, but when I had it in the sunlight, it looks really blue. Like this, to me, it looks blue. I could be wrong. It could just be colorblind. But yeah, it looked blue to me. But really excited to use this. Now, for the last test, I'm gonna try out this big boy, the A5. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so I wrote everything down. I think it's kind of dry. I know for sure the stamp isn't, because I literally just did it. But I think everything for the most part is okay. I kind of messed up when I did the mild liner, so I tried to fill it in a little more, but it's okay. But let's see. Okay, so let's see if this is even in frame. So no bleed through whatsoever. Yeah, no bleed through. On any of them. Not even like a little bit, like if it wanted to, compared to the weeks. Wow. So maybe I was wrong. No, because I was gonna say maybe I was wrong, and maybe it is like you can tell like what book it is, but it's not, because I've seen people have issues with the 5-year. So I don't know what it is. But nothing bled, luckily. Everything looks fine. I'm gonna press on it and see if anything is gonna shift onto the paper. I know the stamp will, for sure. Or maybe I lied. Maybe the stamp didn't really. Yeah, no, I guess the stamp's all good too now. And all of these are good too. even my Signo and my Kaweko. Yeah, everything's good, I guess. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, I know what to do. I'm happy that my books are, not bleeding all over the place. Is this in frame? I can't tell. But yeah, I just hope. Yeah, I hope my pages are the same throughout the book. I don't want to have to, like a certain page just won't work compared to this one. That would really suck. Because everything looks good. Like, it looks perfectly fine, so I really hope that the rest of my book is consistent like this. Fingers crossed, I'm not jinxing myself, knock on wood, but yeah, I'm happy so far with my results, except for the weeks. I am a little disappointed in that one, especially because it's such a beautiful book. It is Through the Purple Night or whatever. I might be confusing the names. But yeah, it's this Janeda cover. Yeah. So it's really pretty. So like I really want my books to look, or at least be able to write in them like I want to, and not have to worry about things bleeding through. Yeah, but so far this book is fine. I have not started writing in this yet. I think it starts, okay, so it starts the last week of December, or I mean, it has the 2 days of December, so obviously I got a ways away until I can use this. But yeah, I was gonna start writing out my habit tracker on this page. Yeah, on these pages. But now, I don't know yet. I think I still will. I think I can just go ahead and start writing my habit tracker on here. Or maybe my A6 too. But yeah, everything else looks fine. Yeah, so I think I'm happy so far. And it really helps me narrow down my decision on what pen I'm going to use. I think for sure I'm going to use my Uniball 1 in both my A6 and my A5 because it looks really nice. And then I might also use gonna for sure use my mild liner in my books, and also I think I'm gonna use my Pilot pens and also my Kaweko. Zig dots, you've disappointed me. Yeah. The Zig dots have disappointed me. But yeah, I'm happy so far, so I can figure out what to use next year, because I jumped around with pens a lot this year, and it kind of throws me off when I'm going through my book, because at one point I was using these markers, and then I was also using just the regular Hobonichi pen, so I can see the difference like month to month, and it looks a little weird to me. So I really want to like be able to pick some pens that are at least similar enough that I'm okay with flipping through them. Like I think my Kaweko Extra Fine and my Uniball 1 look similar enough where it'll be fine to use either or. Whereas if I were to use my Extra Fine Pilot, it's gonna look weird compared to the Uniball 1 and the Kaweko because it's so fine. But that's, I can just use that in my week's book. But yeah, I think those are like the three main pens I'm gonna use then. My Uniball 1, my Kaweko, and my probably the Signo in either my A6 or my A5. Of course I could change my mind throughout the year. I could find like a better pen or whatever, or even a different ink, but I'll have room to test it, luckily, because this is such a huge page and so empty, so I'll be able to test it no matter what. But yeah, I'm really excited for next year. I want to be able to start these books already, but it's also a little nerve-wracking because, you know, it's the start of a new year, and I guess maybe most people hope for a new start, you know, in a new year. And that's what I'm hoping to with these books, is like a fresh start. So I'm really excited to use them. A little nervous as well, even though I shouldn't be, because it is just paper and pen in the end, and I need to stop, you know, overthinking it. But yeah, I'm excited. I think in the next video I might show my setup, because I really want to start writing down some stuff, at least in my weeks, because the week started already. I think it starts in like November. Jeez, man. So many pages. Okay, yeah, it starts on the 25th of November. And yeah, I didn't write anything down because I'm still using my other weeks. I don't know what to use for these pages. I don't really like that these overlap. I don't know why the week starts in November and then it ends in December. But then if you were to buy a weeks in 2020 or for 2026, it'll start in November 2025. So I don't know why they do that. It kind of annoys me, if I'm being honest. So I don't know what to do with those pages. I'll figure it out though. But yeah, I think in my next one, I'll do a setup. Okay, bye.